I saw X-Men Apocalypse twice.
Really?
Yeah.
What, are you
Don't look at me
nuts?
like, yeah, you know I'm nuts. That goes without saying. That completely goes without saying. But how did you, or was it accidental, come to Oscar Isaac's character has a music where you feel his size when he grows, his grandeur. What was your inspiration for that?
For when he grows?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he had the thing about a character like that is they have to, I mean, any character that has a major arc in the film or a major presence is to have a theme that's recognizable. And so I think by the time that happened in the film, there was a melodic signature for him that then sort of was hearkened to when he grows. And so I think maybe that just makes it feel even more dramatic because you subliminally are used to that theme, even whether you know it or not. And then throw in a subwoofer and an earthquake sound, and you're there. So that's probably the main reason.
It's very powerful.
But yeah, I mean, it's like I think that's the power of themes, and whether people know it or not, if you can carry a theme through to its final moment or its big moment, or plant the seeds for something so that it has an impact later, the more satisfying it's going to be for the audience.
It's funny you said that your inspiration was Jerry Goldsmith, and I was thinking as you said that about that clip that Robert Wise said to Jerry. Well, Jerry says, "Well, what do you think of the Star Trek theme?" And he says, "Well,
there's no theme.
There's no theme."
Right. Robert Wise, yeah.
Yeah. Is that something that sticks with you?
Well, I mean, I think that
being a fan of Goldsmith and knowing what he went through.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jerry might have lazied out on that one, and I think he admits it. He admitted it.
Yeah.
Like it's like. I mean, I don't think he specifically admitted that, but I can see, knowing what a composer goes through and how many films he was doing, and he was on fire in the late 70s, doing one iconic score after another iconic score, and I think he might have, no idea how it's a story no one knows about. Star Trek: The Motion Picture, one of the most iconic themes, his original theme was sort of there wasn't a theme there, and Robert Wise was like, there's no damn theme, and so Goldsmith had to rewrite it, and of course, and we ended up with the famous theme. So, I can only imagine maybe he was burned out, or maybe he thought it was too typical to do some, super melodic thing. I have no idea what the reason was, but that goes through my head. You know why? It's because it's hard. It's hard work coming up with themes that are good, and so I think it's easy sort of just to to throw something together and then think that's going to fly and hope, and no matter how many bells and whistles you put on it, it's still not good. And so I think maybe that goes through my head. Maybe the Goldsmith example of Star Trek: The Motion Picture, when I'm writing a theme, like if you don't spend the time on it now, it's going to screw me in the end anyway if it's not good.
This is a good thing. Is it hummable? Something that you can just hum in the shower? I mean, how do you?
I would say yeah. I say yeah, because there's very little time in modern films to establish a theme and before it goes somewhere else, or you usually get the three notes of the theme and you can't. So you got to make it something catchy and. But even so, I always like a theme to have a beginning, middle, and end. Whether it's in the actual film, you can actually it never gets to iterate itself. But at least for the end titles or some of the album, there was a theme that it's based upon. That's old school, but a lot of modern scores, they have like the A part of the theme and there's no B. Like, where's the rest of it? Because it's like, well, I guess the composer feels, well, it's never going to get there anyway, But I'm like, yeah, but So that's just the way I work. So.
How do you approach something like X-Men, or seeing even though Superman, when you already have an established theme? For X-Men, I will remember the ba 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 ba, but okay, so that exists, and now you have to work around. Do you still keep a style? but you have to still keep the same style.
I want to keep the same. I mean, even if I didn't write the theme like in Superman, I really feel, like I was saying in another interview, that I really believe in continuity between franchise films, and it's really frustrating when suddenly they just have the music has nothing to do with the other movies. So I embrace a theme even if it's written by somebody else, because I put myself in the fans' brain because I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and so I understand how they think and feel, you know. Yeah, or even like if you're watching your favorite TV show and then the next season the theme's different. Like sometimes I'm like, what? You know, that pissed. You know, I would be upset when they did that. So it's the same with movies.
And even though if they change a franchise, like with Batman, because I know it was a different era, like the Burton and then the Nolan, but
Yeah.
I always heard like the first theme
Well, you're
from,
really
from Burton,
hardcore.
you know, and I was like, it's a good new music, but you always music transports. That's why it's so important. And okay, so you wrote the original, well, the theme for X-Men, and then when you approach something like Apocalypse, is it like more of a challenge to try to create something
It's a
else?
challenge because even though, you know, obviously I use the X-Men theme, Apocalypse is about apocalypse, and so it had to have a whole, in a sense, a whole new theme, even though it's only for that character. So that puts the pressure on you. Like, okay, now I have to come up with a piece of music. You know, again, I just feel like if a movie's called Apocalypse, I should write a piece, a full-on, full-fledged piece of music that can be taken away from the film, which is his theme. You know, so that puts a lot of pressure on. And like to me, I mean, maybe for most people, I would say it's far more difficult for me to come up with the thematic pieces than to actually score the movie. Because once the agony is spent writing those themes, it's worth it because then you just plug them in to the score, and it gives me somewhere where I know I'm going. Otherwise, I would just be I'd be in a fog. I wouldn't know where I was going. I mean, I've been guilty of that. I've done a film where I haven't established all the themes ahead of time, and it's horrible. I don't know where I'm going with the score. I'm lost. So,
How do you come back home?
how do I come back home? Well, I have to do the right thing and come up with a theme.
Yeah.
I mean, that happened on Jack the Giant Slayer. I mean, a lot of themes written out, but I didn't have, of all things, Jack's theme figured out. I had a theme for him, but I didn't really like it, but I just went for it because we had no time, and I started writing and based upon that theme, but I really never liked it. And near the end of the writing process, I discovered it. And I'm like, oh my God! So I had to go back. I didn't have to, but I didn't. I wanted to go back, so I rewrote all the areas that were part of that should have been thematic for him. And so that score was very hard for me to write because I didn't have his theme figured out. You know?
Hey, when we first talked, if my memory serves, if I can correct myself in my video, you had some poignant ideas about Man of Steel. And
Don't talk about it.
and what's fascinating is, what do you think of Batman versus Superman in that context?
I didn't see it.
Oh,
See, you
easy
can't answer the
answer.
question. Oh well,
Easy peasy.
Easy
you know,
peasy.
that should be my new
You got off
answer.
scot-free, man.
That's your answer.
So I think we are switching. Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Thanks for standing.